What's going on YouTube? JT's Reborn here, and welcome back to another edition of my DC comic book reviews. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking about I Am Batman #0. This one's written by Ridley, and technically this is one of the first issues that ties into the whole Fear State narrative. Now, I've said this before. If you go to my YouTube page, I talked about how I want to go through and talk about all the issues that tie into Future State. I'm a bit behind on all that because there's just so many freaking issues. So this is me going back in time now to some of the other tie-in books that are into the whole Fear State narrative and going back to review and talk about those various issues. So that includes I Am Batman. I'm going to have to go talk about the Harley Quinn issues, and I'm also going to go and have to talk about the Catwoman book. So I kind of want to go and reread all of Catwoman if possible before getting into that issue, what is it, like 34, 35 with the whole Fear State time, so I can get a bit of a refresher on what's happening with the various characters and all that other stuff. That's usually the tricky part when you're kind of like trying to catch back up on a series which you haven't really read. Like Harley Quinn in this one, at least in their early stages, there's only like 4 or 5 issues to read. And this one, it's just kind of like the beginning of it. But Catwoman, it's like issue 34, 35. I'm like, I did read the first couple of issues of Catwoman when Joelle Jones was writing it, but I kind of fell off with that book. So I got to go back and reread and just kind of catch back up where the whole Fear State tie-in is. Because when I like to read something, I like to read everything that's kind of tied into it. So we got that going on here. But anyways, what did I think of I Am Batman #0? Because this is still listed as one of the issues to read if you're going to read the whole Fear State event thing. I thought this issue was just kind of okay, and I was kind of bored through some of it, I'm not going to lie. With this issue, I don't feel like it's a really good starting point if you're someone who doesn't really know who Tim or Jace Fox is. Like, if you're going to read this thing, you're going to be kind of lost because it's going to mention all sorts of connections. You got to go back and read, like, you know, the Batman Second Son or whatever that book was. I think they mentioned it, like, early on right here. Let's see if we can skim through it. Be sure to check out the next Batman, Second Son. There you go, if you want to know how this whole story began, because I'm not quite familiar with this character of Tim or Jace Fox and how they're talking about how they want to take the symbol and forge their own path, but why are they trying to become Batman when they could just become their own new hero? You know, with Bruce Wayne still kind of sticking around and acting as Batman in the current timeline, because the whole reason that this character, Tim or Jace Fox, I guess I'll call him Jace, was going to be the new Batman was because they were initially going to get rid of all the current generation superheroes. They're going to get rid of Superman, Clark Kent, they're going to get rid of Bruce Wayne, and they're going to replace all the main heroes with all sorts of new, different types of characters to take over. So they're bringing Ridley to write this new Batman story with this new ongoing character. Bruce Wayne was supposed to be gone, but obviously plans have changed. So now we just kind of have this other Batman book, which was just like, hey, we brought you on, but you're going to just kind of have to continue with it, but you're not really going to be taking over the whole main Batman book with Tynion. You also have Joshua Williamson, who's going to be taking over that book come January. So you got a whole other things happening. And so I feel like this character, Jace Fox, is just kind of getting lost a bit in the shuffle. His intention was to take over for Bruce Wayne Batman, but now that Bruce Wayne's still kind of sticking around, I feel like having the two ongoing different Batman at the same time, I don't know. I just don't really see the need to have this character take over as Batman, especially considering that there's so many other Bat Family characters who can take over the mantle, including his brother Luke Fox, who is more familiar with the Bat Family, has a much closer connection to them than Jace Fox. Why it wasn't Luke is beyond me. I feel like this should have been a Luke Fox series instead of a Jace Fox series for the next Batman or whatever they wanted to do with the whole Fox family taking over. That still kind of bugs me how Lucius Fox didn't give Bruce Wayne his money back after it was stolen from him. I don't know, it doesn't quite work with me. But this issue itself, it's not a really good starting point. I feel you have to kind of go back and read that whole Second Son thing if you want to really get into it. But even then, it's not that engaging of a story. Yes, Jace himself is trying to figure out who he is, trying to mold his own identity, but by being the next Batman for some reason. I still gotta go back and read that Second Son. See, the only reason I'm reading this thing is because it's a Fear State tie-in. We got the whole thing with the protesters and the police, so if you follow the news and all that stuff, I mean, that just has been going on for so long, so it all kind of ties in, and you can throw in your social commentary there or whatever. There's plenty of that in this issue, but it's just Jace just kind of finding his own thing, kind of doing his own missions and that, and he gets caught up in the whole police and rioters thing, and he's trying to like just start out. He's got all sorts of training in that, and he's trying to build his own little bat suit, and he has a cool looking suit here. I think the artwork here looks pretty cool, but the rest of the issue just looks kind of okay. He goes in between the cops and the rioters because somebody went in there to start some trouble, and he basically stops them, and then he kind of goes back to his bat cave or whatever you want to call it, and he's talking about how he's like, okay, I'm going to have to design something new, and that's going to be the lead into the big I Am Batman #1 issue. Now, I already talked about all of this issue back in that whole free comic book day special, so if you want to know more of my thoughts on the issue, you can go check that out, but I don't know. I thought the issue was just kind of okay. I don't really have much to say about it because I went through and I read this whole thing, and seeing how I didn't read the Batman Second Son thing because I figured this would be a good starting point for the Jace Fox character. It really isn't. I feel like you kind of have to read that other thing. Granted, I have not read that, but I don't know if I want to go back and read it because I didn't really find this issue all that engaging. Maybe the next issue will pick up the pace and get a little bit more exciting, but all things considered, if this was it's supposed to be the first issue in this series, it doesn't really start out with a bang. It's nothing all that exciting. It's just kind of okay. I was kind of expecting a little bit more, but I just got kind of an okay issue. I kind of wish that instead of the whole Second Son thing, that would have started with that would have been the I Am Batman #0 thing, so that people who want to check out the new series are like, okay, here's a good starting point, because like I said, if you don't have a little bit of a background, you're gonna be left scratching your head like, okay, what the hell happened with this thing? So that's just kind of where I'm at. In terms of the whole Fear State tie-in thing, yes, you have some bits with the Magistrate going on here, but not much. It feels kind of separate from that whole event. It's just kind of a little bit of a precursor into that whole thing. So that's that. Yeah, so the first of the other tie-ins into the whole Fear State event, which really doesn't feel like much of a tie-in at all, if I'm being honest. So I don't know why I even picked this thing up, because it doesn't really do much other than just have Jace Fox get ready to set up his whole new Batsuit thing. So there you go. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. So I'm just going to go ahead and end this video here. Issue was just kind of okay. I don't think I'll go back and reread it again. It wasn't all that exciting. I'm kind of disappointed. I was hoping for something a little bit more exciting. I don't know. Not much of an interesting story going on here. So there you go. There's my thoughts on I Am Batman #0. Kind of a shitty review, but if you want to see a much better review, come back tomorrow, because the new issue of Robin's coming out. Yes, the whole Tournament Fighter arc with Damian Wayne and Flatline and Connor Hawke and Rose Wilson and the League of Lazarus and all that cool stuff. So I'll be talking about that tomorrow, so you can check out that video. And I got some other Fear State tie-in videos to talk about. I think the Task Force Z comic comes out too, so there's a lot to talk about, and I have to like add another Batman book to the pull list, so it's gonna be kind of exhausting, but we're gonna get through this, and we're gonna talk about some more stuff. And throughout the week, I'm gonna try and push on and cover all the Fear State titles that I missed. So here's hoping that that goes okay. All right, well, I've rambled on long enough. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you read this issue, did you like it? Did you dislike it? Tell me your thoughts in the comment section down below. Like I said, I thought this whole thing was okay. It's just, now that we have Bruce Wayne still as Batman, it's kind of leaving me questioning, like, why do we still have Jace Fox trying to become the next Batman? Or is he going to form his own mantle? Why did they choose Jace Fox rather than Luke Fox, who is a more established character, to become the next Batman, is beyond me. I don't know. I guess maybe John Ridley wanted to kind of make his own original character to be Batman for, reasons. So I don't know. Just let me know your thoughts on the issue in the comment section down below. I'm just kind of rambling on incoherently at this point. So, all right. Well, that's all I got to say. As always, take care now. Bye-bye then. And I will see you all in the next video. Peace.